Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Shreya Savijay. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 22nd of July. Indian farmers stage anti-farm laws protest near Parliament. Maldives Foreign Minister arrives in India first trip as UNGA President. And Taliban wants Afghanistan to become heaven for insurgents, says President Ghani. And now for all the details. Indian farmers protesting against three farm laws since last November began their sit-in protest near Parliament in capital New Delhi on Thursday, renewing a push for repealing of the laws. The agitation, including a farmers' parliament, will be held in groups of some 200 while the Indian parliament is in session. In the parliament, key opposition leaders asked the government to tackle the concerns of the farmers and roll back the three controversial laws.
Indian farmers protesting against new agriculture laws they say threaten their livelihoods started a sit-in on Thursday near the parliament in Indian capital New Delhi, renewing a push for repealing of the laws. The farmers' unions had announced that they will hold a Kisan Parliament or Farmers' Parliament at Jantar Mantar, a large Mughal-era observatory in a central area that doubles as a protest site during the monsoon session from July 22. In the longest-running growers' protest against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, tens of thousands of farmers have camped out on major highways leading to New Delhi for more than 7 months. On Thursday, police in New Delhi escorted 200 farmers from protest spots on the outskirts to Jantar Mantar. Farmers said before being allowed to gather at the central site, their identity cards were checked by police, who have tightened security, erecting barricades and checkposts to deter violence.
मेंबर पार्लियामेंट किसान की आवाज नहीं उठाएगा, वो किसी भी पार्टी का होगा, उसका विरोध होगा, उसके क्षेत्र में विरोध होगा उसका। आवाज किसान की उठानी पड़ेगी अगर क्षेत्र में उसको जाना है, वो किसी भी पार्टी का है।
Parliament ends its monsoon session early in August, and the farmers have been allowed to gather until August 9. In the parliament, key opposition leaders such as Rahul Gandhi and Harsimrat Kaur Badal asked the government to tackle the farmers' concerns and roll back the three controversial laws. Many senior members of the Congress party, which is the main opposition group, gathered in the compound of the parliament, shouting slogans of support. Meanwhile, India's agriculture minister reiterated the government's stance over the issue and told reporters that the government is ready to discuss all the issues with the protesting farmers with an open mind. Farmers, however, say the new laws favor large private retailers by freeing them to buy farm goods outside government-regulated wholesale grain markets.
Moving on, Maldives Foreign Minister and the UNGA President-elect Abdullah Shahid is in India on a 3-day official visit aimed at reviewing the entire gamut of bilateral cooperation between the two countries. During talks with his Indian counterpart on Friday, he is also expected to exchange views on several global challenges that the United Nations is currently seized with. Abdullah Shahid, the President-elect of the 76th session of the UN General Assembly and Foreign Minister of the Maldives, arrived in India on Wednesday on a 3-day official visit to boost bilateral ties and exchange views on several global challenges that the United Nations is currently seized with. In an exclusive interview to ANI News Agency in New Delhi, Shahid expressed his support for India's bid for a seat at the United Nations Security Council as a permanent member. He also said that terrorism is a scourge that has been in the region which needs to be addressed comprehensively. India is the first country Shahid is visiting after being elected as the UNGA President on June 7.
Terrorism is a scourge that has been in this region, in many parts of the world, and which has taken the lives of so many civilians. It does not know any religion, no borders, no humanity. It's an evil, and we need to address it comprehensively. The United Nations has been slow in coming up with the definition. I hope that the definition would be reached soon.
Abdullah Shahid will also pay a courtesy call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and will hold talks with his Indian counterpart S. Jaishankar on key international, multilateral, regional and bilateral issues of mutual interest on Friday. Maldives occupies a central place as part of India's neighbourhood first policy, India's foreign ministry said. An agreement for high-impact community development projects to be implemented with Indian grant assistance in the Maldives will also be signed during the visit. In news from Pakistan, residents across Pakistan are irked due to rising inflation and fear the worst for the future amid the COVID-19 pandemic. They said prices of consumer goods, including food, have reached all-time high due to massive debts, rampant corruption and inefficient government policies.
Residents across Pakistan are feeling the pinch of rising inflation in the country and fear the worst for the future amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Locals of Karachi city said they are irked due to the rising prices of consumer goods, including food, which has reached all-time high due to massive debts, rampant corruption and inefficient government policies. They said the present situation has shattered their faith in Prime Minister Imran Khan-led government, which was elected on a pledge to eradicate poverty and create jobs.
मुझे नहीं लगता ये महंगाई कंट्रोल होगी, बल्कि और ऊपर ही आएगी। जिस तरह के हमारे हुक्मरान हैं, जिस तरह की हमारे मुल्क में करप्शन चल रही है, ये महंगाई ऊपर ही आ सकती है, नीचे नहीं आ सकती। ये हमें इन हुक्मरानों से अच्छी उम्मीद नहीं है।
आप आवाम में से अगर आवाम के नुमाइंदे हैं वाकई, तो आपको आवाम का एहसास होना चाहिए, आपको आवाम का अंदाज़ा होना चाहिए वो किस तकलीफ में गुजर रहे हैं, किस परेशानी में गुजरते हैं, उनके लिए किस तरह बच्चों की स्कूल की फ़ीस देना, मकान का किराया देना और अपने बुनियादी पेट भर के खाना खाना, ये ख्वाब बन गया है, ख्वाब।
According to a report released by the Asian Development Bank this week, inflation is higher in Pakistan as compared to other countries of South Asia, averaging 8.8% in the first 11 months of financial year 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic remains the biggest risk to the outlook as outbreaks continue in many economies, the report states.
Afghanistan is witnessing a surge in violence as the Taliban has intensified its offensive against civilians, Afghan defense and security forces as foreign forces are withdrawing from the war-torn country. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has said that the Taliban has deep ties with the Al-Qaeda, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, adding that the terror group wants Afghanistan to become a haven for insurgents.
Taliban has deep ties with Al-Qaeda, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfits, and the group want Afghanistan to become a haven for insurgents, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said on Wednesday. Ghani made the remarks at the Special Operations Command Center in Kabul. The government will never allow this to happen, he said, while visiting the center to give a greeting for Eid ul-Adha festival. Ghani promised to address the needs of families of the security force members who have lost their lives while serving their country. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, on Wednesday told reporters during a Pentagon press conference alongside U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin that Taliban insurgents control about half of Afghanistan's district centers, indicating a rapidly deteriorating security situation.
There clearly is a narrative out there that the Taliban are winning. In fact, they are propagating an inevitable victory on their behalf. They're dominating a lot of the airwaves on that sort of thing. I would tell you that as of today, more or less, I guess it's about 212, 213, it's in that range, 200s. The district centers are in Taliban control. It's about half of the 419 that are out there. You've got 34 provincial capitals in Afghanistan. None of them have been seized as of today by the Taliban, although the Taliban is putting pressure on the outskirts of probably about half of them.
Insecurity has been growing in Afghanistan in recent weeks, largely spurred by fighting in its provinces as US-led foreign troops complete their withdrawal and the Taliban launch major offensives, taking districts and border crossings. The US intelligence assessments earlier have suggested the country's civilian government could fall to the terror group within months of US forces withdrawing. Almost all US troops except those protecting the embassy in Kabul and airport have left the country.
In news from Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka on Thursday morning received another 2 million doses of China's Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine from Beijing. With this consignment, 9.1 million doses of the Sinopharm vaccine have been imported to Sri Lanka from China so far. Beginning in January this year, Sri Lanka has been administering Covishield, Sinopharm, Sputnik and Pfizer vaccines, and a majority of those vaccinated have got Sinopharm jabs. Sri Lanka is fighting the third wave of coronavirus and has recorded 289,577 cases since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, with 3,917 deaths. Meanwhile, researchers from one of Sri Lanka's leading universities have found that Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine is highly efficient against the Delta variant, which has become the dominant variant across the world. The study involved 282 individuals who were not infected at the time of vaccination and 41 who have had the disease already. After 6 weeks, 2 weeks after the second dose, 95% were seropositive. Moving on to news from Bangladesh. The Bangladesh government has extended the ongoing closure of all the educational institutions in the country until 31st of July as the coronavirus situation keeps worsening in the country. To overcome this crisis in this unprecedented time, the country's top university, Dhaka University, has developed a new online exam system. With its help, students don't have to come physically to the university but can still complete the semesters.
A group of teachers from the Department of Development Studies at Bangladesh's University of Dhaka has developed an online exam system amid the pandemic. All educational institutions were closed in Bangladesh when the first case of COVID-19 was registered on March 8 last year. The government has again extended the ongoing closure of all educational institutions until July 31 as the coronavirus situation keeps worsening in the country. Teachers have transformed a conference room into a technically equipped control room for managing the examinations, and they will help students solve any technical issues arising in the process. During the exam, students can speak out via Zoom, and they can immediately call the school's helpline if they have internet disruption.
So I am always in touch with our students. So if they have any problem regarding this online examination, we are always taking care of this issue. You can see that we are doing all the technical support and everything. I think we are now ready to final exam.
Since March last year, the virus has spread to nearly every Bangladeshi district and the total number of cases has risen to 1.1 million with 18,498 deaths.
Doll and idol makers in a village in southern India are living in despair as the demand for clay toys have plummeted in the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, leaving them worried for their livelihood. Doll and idol makers in Villacheri village in Madurai district of India's southern Tamil Nadu state are living in despair as the demand for clay toys have plummeted in the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, leaving them worried for their livelihood. The artisans said they used to have a decent business before the pandemic, but their sales have dwindled drastically in the absence of any buyers. The pandemic, which has resulted in successive months-long lockdowns in India in the last 2 years, has hit several small and large businesses across the country.
எங்களுக்கு இவ்வளோ நாளாக நல்ல விற்பனை ஆகிக்கிட்டு இருந்துச்சு. பூம்புகார் காதி கிராஃப்ட்டுக்கெல்லாம் நாங்கள் சப்ளை செய்வோம். அதில் நல்ல வருமானம் ஓரளவுக்கு வந்துக்கிட்டு இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ இந்த கொரோனா காலகட்டங்கள்னால எங்களுக்கு விற்பனை ரொம்ப குறைஞ்சிருச்சு 2 வருஷமா.
India on Thursday reported 41,383 new coronavirus infections in the last 24 hours, while daily deaths rose by 507, Health Ministry data showed. The country's tally of infections now stands at 31.26 million, with the death toll at 418,987. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.